Today, we're doing a pen tour. Recently, I've been more of a digital artist. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know, I still always come back home to my good old pens and paper, you know. I'm just gonna show you my pens, give you a little demo, not in this piece of paper though, this is just for the video. Give you a little tour of the pens, you know, show you what I got, you know, how they work, if they're different like this one. And yeah, that's about it, so let's get into it. So, you know, usually when I sketch, I just start with I just go to pens, you know, because sketches are sketches, a little bit different than drawings, but sometimes I'll do a little underdrawing. This is just sort of a standard 2B pencil. Pencils are pencils. This is a pen video. So, first I'm going to go with the Microns, right? Microns, they're a classic. You can never go wrong. I usually use around the 3s and 5s, sometimes the 8s, and sometimes these like really thin-tipped ones, these 005s. That's, I think, millimeters or something. Yeah, there's another 005. You know, just the numbers are different thickness of the pens. You know, there's an 8. Here's a 5, right? And they do come in variants too. They do make like a marker tip one, like this one, which is just, you know, it's a little bit different than the other pen tips. And they also do a brush tip one, which is pretty okay. As far as brush pens go, I don't think it's the best. So yeah, so got our Microns. So this is like the, what do they call this, the graphic? It's called the graphic micron. It's more like a, it's kind of like a mini Sharpie. And we got our 03, which is sort of like mid-range. You know, it's a little bit more thinner than thicker. We got our 005, which is like for really fine lines if you get in there with some cross-hatching, you know, like that. And, you know, I usually use the 3 or 5, 05, not 005. And the 08, it's a chunky boy. It's good if you want to like do some like outline stuff. So yeah, Microns, they're sort of a go-to. They're like comfort food. You know what I mean? It's nostalgic. So yeah, that was Micron pens. Oh, there's the 05. Yeah, see, 05 is a nice, good like medium, in my opinion. Yeah, that's sort of the standard. That's home base. That's like, that's the workhorse, right? Now we're gonna get into more specialty pens. This is not a specialty pen though. This is just a standard ballpoint pen. Yeah, just sort of ballpoint pens. They're fun for quick sketches if you want something like, you know, with a value in it, because you can control the pressure. You can get darker lines or you can get lighter lines. So, you know, that's always fun, right? Let's do like a, how about a cube? Looks like we're doing a cube. Looks like the light's coming from this way. So let's see, there'd be shadow cast over there. Darker over here, something ambient occlusion, whatever. But yeah, just standard ballpoint pens. Sometimes I just sketch with these, write notes with them. I do a lot of the thumbnails for my comic Celestos, which by the way, if you're watching this video when this comes out, Chapter 4 has just been released just a day or two ago, so you can read that on my website and also tap his link in the description. Please check it out after you finish this video. But first, finish the video. I need that watch time. But yeah, just sort of standard ballpoint pen. It's good for sketching, you know, it's nothing crazy. Alright, moving right along. I don't like these pens. These Copics? Yeah, I don't like these Copic pens. I got these a while back because I was looking for something a little different because I kept buying the Microns. And I got these Copic Multiliner pens. Some people swear by these. They say like they're the best pens. I mean, just like they say the Copic markers are the best markers, which I think they're a little overpriced. I got a pretty big set of Hoo-Hoo markers, which are pretty good budget alternatives that I would recommend if you want to get into some marker stuff, you know. But yeah, I figured, alright, you could get the pens, you know, try them out, see if they're good. They're not terrible. I think it's the form factor for me. They're like a little too short or something. I don't know. Even if I put the cap on the back. Well, see, the thing is, let's see. Compared to a naked Micron pen. Yeah, see, it is shorter. I'm not crazy. The Micron pens are a little bit longer. I feel like I'm a little too close to the page when I use these. They're not terrible. I mean, I'd say try these both if you're just looking for like a decent like pen that does archival ink, because that's the thing with these specialty artist pens like this. They have archival ink, which means like something like 100 years before they start to fade. Because if you use like a ballpoint pen, like this one, right? Yeah, if you use something like this as a Bic, right? It'll fade over time, inevitably, probably within your lifetime. But use like these archival ink pens, I mean, they'll last way longer. I mean, they'll probably fade eventually if you don't properly preserve them, but again, who cares about my art? Nobody cares. Anyway, yeah, these aren't too bad. This is the what is this? This is the one. So this is like a chunky boy, as you can see here. But you know, they go down and up. They actually make brush pens too. The brush pens are better than the Microns, but there's another one that another company that makes brush pens that I will get to, that are my favorite brush pens. So yeah, moving along. Before we get to brush pens, I got this roller ball here. I don't know. This is a little bit similar to like a Pilot, I think. Right? This is a little bit more closer to like a Pilot pen, not a Pilot, a ballpoint pen. I mean, it's not a ballpoint pen. This is a roller ball pen, but I'm pretty sure it functions in the same way in the construction. I don't know. This is a pretty okay pen, you know, if you want to draw anything. You know, it's pretty good for sketching. It's got a really nice glide, you know. It's a little bit similar to like the Pilot pens, if you guys are familiar with those. I don't like the Pilot pens because they're too sharp. Like the actual tip of the Pilot pens, they it feels like they cut into the paper, you know, and I don't like that. I'm gonna give you a quick drawing here, quick demo. See, this has really good glide. Like, so, there's one thing that I feel like not enough people talk about when it comes to pens, and that's glide. If you're looking for a good pen, you gotta find something that has like, that's just really easy to move across the paper. Because sometimes some pens, like, again, I'm gonna shit on the Pilot pen again. They cut into the paper. It feels like almost like they get stuck. The problem with this pen is that it's highly smudgeable, right? Look at this. Well, now we got a little nice shadow going on here, which we'll play with in a minute when I get to the next pen. But yeah, it's not very, it doesn't dry that fast. It's a little bit wet. It's a wet pen, you know, so if you like build up a ton of ink, right, like that, it's like, ooh, that's smudge waiting to happen. So I think it's good for like quick doodles, you know, maybe thumbnails, that kind of thing. But as for like finished artworks, I'm still sticking mostly to the Micron pens. Anyway, I got this pen next. So this pen is the the Pentel. If you guys know who Kim Jong-gi is, which I'm assuming if you're watching this video you probably do. If you don't, he's an illustrator based out of South Korea, who is known for being able to draw like ridiculously good, like just no sketch, nothing. And he'll just put down something perfectly in perspective with one of these brush pens. So this is a Pentel Pocket Brush, I think. I'll put the name on the screen, the exact name if you want to look it up. So this is a little bit different. These are actually more designed for watercolor. So I actually have two. This one's filled with water. You're supposed to fill these with water, and you're supposed to use these like with the cake watercolors. So you can like take them around and maybe do like some in plein air stuff. But you can fill it with ink, you know, any color you want. It's very difficult to control, but when you manage to do something good with it, yeah, see, if you squeeze too hard, some ink will come out. Maybe that's just me mishandling things. It's like one of the hardest things to master, but at the same time, it makes some of the richest lines. Like, look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? Like, look at the ink come out. It's just right, man. Now, I know some people like to ink with an actual brush, but, you know, carrying a bottle of ink around, you know, and like setting that to the side, there's always that risk you're going to knock it over and spill everywhere. I mean, obviously, there's still the risk you're going to squeeze this too hard. You can get little droplets like that. But, yeah, it's pretty good. Ink takes forever to dry, so if you want to use it like this, you can go from top left to bottom right if you're right-handed. Just reverse that if you're left-handed. It's not a bad pen. It's challenging. It's a challenging tool to use, but I could see why people love it. You know, plus you can play around with wet ink a little bit. You know, you want a little smear? Whoosh, there you go. Boom. Now you got like a shadow thing going on here. There's also this pen with the water brush. You could actually move the ink around some more, thin it out, add some mid-tones, right? Also works pretty well with the rollerball ballpoint pen type pens, right? Not so much with the Microns. It can get a little bit with the Microns. I mean, that's pretty dry. But yeah, see, the thing is, because of the type of ink in the Microns, it's harder to kind of get this sort of ink wash effect, right? But then again, that's not really how you're supposed to use it. That's just how I've been using it ever since I got them. They're really difficult to use. I would only recommend it if you're looking for a bigger challenge in terms of mastering a tool. You know, if you've grown tired of just using Microns on everything, or Copic Multiliners, or what's the other big pen manufacturer? Well, there's Tombow, which I'm going to show you some. Faber-Castell makes pens, right? Yeah, I think that's the other big one. But yeah, that's the brush pen, the Kim Jong-gi brush pen. It won't make you as good as him. As a matter of fact, it'll probably make you worse because it's really difficult to control. But yeah, these are fun pens. They're fun. It's a little bit challenging. We also got a white pen here. This is a Jelly Roll pen. It's made by Micron, right? The same company, Sakura, right? Sakura, yeah, see? Sakura. Is it Sakura or Sakura? I don't know. I know that's Japanese for cherry blossom, right? Yeah, this is just a white pen. Not my favorite white pen. I forget where it is, but I have like a whiteout pen that's a little bit better. Like it's whiteout. It's not white ink. It's you know, for ink covering up mistakes when you write with a pen. That kind of whiteout. Yeah, this is okay. I don't like it because it gets clogged easily. You gotta kind of warm it up. It's a real pain in the ass, and like ink gets in the tip. This is probably not a good white pen. There's another one I have somewhere that's like that whiteout pen that I was talking about, made by Pentel. Pentel Correction Pen or something like that. If you guys ever seen Jim Lee draw, you know, Jim Lee from DC Comics, draw anything, he uses that all the time. You know, to create more contrast in his work. Yeah, I don't know. I just have not found a white pen that I like, because the Pentel one, it's a weird form factor. It just doesn't feel right. I'm still in the market to find a good white pen. So if you guys have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments. I would love to hear it. Anyway, as I mentioned before, we got some Tombows, or Tombows? Tombows. I don't know. But yeah, Tombow is another Japanese company, because you know, the two big countries that make art supplies are Japan and Germany. And, you know, like everywhere else, but those are like the two countries that have the most art supplies manufactured. I'm more into the Japanese stuff. I tried out some, what's the big German company? Was it Faber-Castell? That's not the one I tried. Staedtler? Yeah, I think I tried out some Staedtler pens a while back, and I didn't really like them. Or something else by them. Was it Staedtler? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I prefer the Japanese art supplies over the German art supplies. But, you know, that's just a personal preference. Maybe you like German stuff better. I do have a German pen here, actually. But it's not really intended for art, but we'll get to that. So yeah, these are Tombow brush pens, or Fudenosuke pens. Yeah, so these are just brush pens, right? Sort of a thin one, right? So if you push harder, you get a thicker line, right? You go thin to thick, right back to thin, if you wanted to. This one's okay. There's like two types of brush pens they make. I think they're intended more for calligraphy than artwork, but yeah, this one's got a little bit more push. Yeah, this one's almost out of ink. These are really good pens, but they're quite expensive. So after a while, it's like, do I keep buying these pens, or maybe I could just take one of these like Micron pens, right? And if I want a thin to thick line, I could just kind of go like that and fill it in, right? But these are okay. I like them. They're pretty solid, you know. Especially when you get a fresh one, like fresh out of the package. It's got like a nice juicy glide. These are a little bit water soluble, unlike the ballpoint and Pilot pens, which are way more water soluble. You know, you can even smear it around with your fingers. You know, it's not real art if you don't get dirty, right? Digital artists are so triggered right now. Yeah, but like I said, guys, I'm more of a digital artist these days. Oh, and by the way, the ink in the brush pen, the Kim Jong-gi brush pen, I guess you could call it, the Pentel whatever. That is just India ink. You know, I think people say that's like not the best ink. I don't know. It's cheap. I got a whole like tube, you know, it's fun. I like to use brushes sometimes on rare occasions. It's a mess, but you know, that's what it is. Alright, moving right along, we got the Kuiko Sport fountain pen here. So yeah, this is a fountain pen. So, if you're familiar with fellow art YouTuber Peter Draws, that guy is a fountain pen addict. And just over years watching his videos, I'm like, I gotta get one of these eventually. So I finally did. This is a entry-level fountain pen. Yeah, we're actually using the word entry-level to describe pens. It's a pretty good starter pen. It's only like 30 bucks. I could see how people could get addicted to these pens because, first of all, like these things are like crafted works of art. These aren't like, you know, these plastic tubes that just get the job done, you know? Like, whatever, it's a Micron. Dead, throw it out. These are really meticulously crafted, beautiful pieces of art, you know? See, there's this whole maintenance thing involved with fountain pens and the fact that, like, you gotta, like, take out the tubes. You got, like, fountain pen cartridges and piston converters. This is, I use a cartridge. Yeah, I have a few cartridges that came with it in here, but, like, you're supposed to use specialized fountain pen ink with this, because I hear if you use India ink, it just like clogs and it's not good for the pen. But yeah, this is an okay pen. I thought I'd like it. Like, it feels good in my hands. It feels really good to write with. Like, this is a writing pen, you know what I mean? Oh, that feels so fucking good. It has good glide, but it's really more for writing. Like, if I tried to draw something here, like, I don't know, let's draw a strand here. Alright, it's a little scratchy, right? It's got a little bit of scratchiness to it. It's not really the best for sketching, at least in my opinion. I don't hate it for drawing, but it's more of a writer. You know what I mean? I'm probably not gonna buy more fountain pens. It's highly possible that if I start getting more, it's gonna affect my life in a negative way. You know, you want to be addicted to good things. You know, we all got addicted personalities waiting to get out. But buying fountain pens is not something I would like to get addicted to. You know, it's like the time I got addicted to Yakuza. It was like I could not stop playing those games. You know, it's like that was an unhealthy addiction. Like, I was just wasting time. You know, instead of working on like my art or anything important or myself or anything. You know, just don't want to waste away and you don't want to just buy a bunch of pens just to have them if you're not going to use them. I'm more of the mind that, like, if you buy something, you should use it, you know? I kind of, like, on one hand, like, I kind of get, like, people collect things, but at the same time, like, why would you collect something you can't even use, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of get when people, like, collect video games, like, okay, you could play them and enjoy them, right? I don't get people that collect stamps. Like, alright, I get they're kind of historic, but, like, what's the point of having, like, binders of stamps in your home? You know what I mean? It's just taking up space. You can't even really use it. It's weird, man. But yeah, this is an okay pen. I would recommend it if you want to try out fountain pens, because it is pretty cheap. It's around, like, 30 bucks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use it all the time. I use it if I want to write something. This writes really good on, like, notebook paper. Not so much on sketchbook paper. This is a watercolor sketchbook, by the way, if you guys are wondering, by Arteza? I think it's an Arteza sketchbook. Now, let me check the, yeah, it's Arteza. I can show that. Okay. There's some naughty drawings in here that YouTube would not like. But, yeah, and last but not least, we got a good old-fashioned Sharpie. Just a big, chunky motherfucker. Okay, I'm sorry for the swearing, but I have to. Yeah, you know, just sometimes you just want to fill in things with black, and, you know, that's where the Sharpie comes in. Okay, you know, it's pretty alright. It's not really archival. You know, it's pretty sure it's water soluble. Yeah. A little bit water soluble, not too much though. It's alright. So we got the Sharpie, right? We got our Tombow, right? Just a recap here. We got our Microns. This one's almost out of ink. We got our fountain pen. This is hard to use without the tip on the cover on the back. Yeah, it's nice. We got the Copic Multiliners. Alright. We got our Pentel Brush Pen. I'll put the name of that in the video. We got our shitty white pen that I can't even draw with. We got the roller ball here. Alright, a little bit similar to a pilot pen. We got our ballpoint, which I can't show you what's on the pen because it's not good. Not good for me. Alright, and yeah, that's about it. That's the pen tour. If you like these pens, I mean, that's cool. I don't know, we're going to comments like, wow, I really like the part where you pulled out that Fudenosuke pen, bro. Dude. You know, like, I don't know. Tell me what your favorite pen is if you have any of these pens. Tell me if there are other pens out there that I haven't tried yet that you think I would like. My favorite right now, out of all of these, I mean, like, the Microns are kind of like home base, you know what I mean? It's sort of like my go-to, right, when I got to do anything that requires, like, good ink, goodish ink at least. Right now, I think my favorite is probably, I'm liking this brush pen, even though it's really hard. I don't know, I'm liking the challenge of it. But I also like the fact that I can create these sort of grays with it and the water pen. I think this is my favorite right now. But yeah, if there are more pens out there that you think I should try, maybe I could be a pen review channel for a little bit. You know, a couple pen review videos. What is this? This is another ballpoint. I don't know, there's a pen over there. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah, so that was the pen tour. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel. You know, Patreon. Chapter 4 of Celestos is out. Oh, and by the way, if any of you guys are wondering, this thing right here, this came with a, I ordered some Micron pens, and it just came in this. I don't remember what exactly I ordered, but yeah, it says Yajibi on it. I don't know. Yeah, Yazibi or Yajibi. I don't know. It's got Japanese characters on it. Is that Japanese or Chinese? Well, it could be both, right? It's the kanji. I don't know. Yeah, but it's a fun little case if you want to carry your pens around. Nice and neat. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. And yeah, sorry I haven't posted in a while. You know, I've been a little preoccupied, but I think I'm just going to take my time, just make good content and post videos when they're good and done, you know? Alright, bye.